Ma'am, you are not audible.
I'm doing.
Yes, now you are audible. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you want me to repeat? No, na? You all understood, na?
No, understood. Please go ahead.
I pointed it out. You all saw that, right?
Correct.
Screen you could see. You all could see the screen earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah. So we are just revising the first few things. Sapindales belongs to early childhood and school age. So everything is in that, how the person is in that. We have done many, but we'll still be doing much more. So the first two columns we know, subclass 1 and 2, they are connected with divine, and therefore they always want to go back. But whereas the fifth column has forgotten all about that, they talk about evil eye, black magic. So it is a fifth column is the bad fruit. So Rutaceae sensations we have done mostly squeeze, because a lot of the citrus, lemon, orange, all belong to Rutaceae. So we must remember this we'll see in every remedy. Pure industry, busy, hardworking, long hours, don't complain. And there is perseverance, responsibility, and then complete exhaustion like the squeezed lemon. You'll see this all the time, and stretching is very good for them. It's very harsh, the extractor, right? Like the boss. Boss is very hard, but he tolerates a lot. He works very hard, wants to complete, very responsible, very industrious. In Anacardiaceae also we saw that, but there was more rituals and religious and superstitions were much more marked. Here they want to reach the target, they give their best, and they want to be on top of the mountain, right? So finally exhaustion, because when you squeeze, all the vital fluids go away, and vital fluids belongs to the feminine part. Lot of work, ready to work. And when kept there so roughly used, and so much work they tolerate for long, finally they work beyond their capacity and give up. Okay? So a lot of vitamin D deficiency, vitamin C, sorry, deficiency, because the orange and the lemon belong here. You have the rigidity found in the order, and which leads, and because they work so hard, so all their relationships are affected, imbalance, because they persevere only on their work, and then they, at the end, they have nothing left, and they're completely exhausted and very, very dry. Sensation wise, it is a very easy route to prescribe. Cancerous quality, most of the Rutaceae are cancerous quality. And they feel squeezed. So like IT companies, they squeeze and squeeze you. So they work, and then till they cannot work anymore and become rigid. And we'll see, we're doing Jaburandi today, how critical they are, how critical and sensorial they are. Okay, so we begin with our remedies. So the first remedy, you see a lot of commonality in all these 4 remedies that we are doing on the Rutaceae. So the family is Rutaceae, remedies Attista indica. Okay, it is another Indian remedy, and all Indian remedy have lot of digestive symptoms. And that is the reason for the digestive symptoms. In Ayurveda, it is used for periodical fever once in 2-3 days and for rheumatism. In the proving, there is cheerfulness and singing, but that's in the beginning, and in the chronic state, it becomes quiet and tense. All these remedies, you will see that they are very vivacious in the beginning, and then completely worn out, finished, rude, critical, irritable, quarrelsome at the end. So then they become irritable, quarrelsome, restless. Restless is related to the need to act. Means I need to do something, I need to act. All the time they want to act, but the anxiety is better by lying down and resting. Very strange, because then after that follows laziness. So that is the way they go. The cheerful singing, very happy, and then go to quiet and want to lie down and become lazy. So
Dr. Vishpala, just adjust your screen. Your face is getting cut. Your head,
okay.
actually.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so digestive tract also restless. The digestive tract is also restless, and therefore you have heartburn, inacidity, you have the diarrhea because restless, you have to pass it out. Nausea, vomiting, pass it out with continuous desire to spit. Bloody diarrhea, and the effect is on the digestive mucous membrane, and therefore you have shredding of that, and you have the bloody diarrhea. You have the dysentery and the amoebiasis. You have the craving for lime. Why? Because lemon is part of this family. We're going to do it today also, citrus. So it causes acidity. Okay. Worms in children. We've done so much in the worms, right? Worms are like, they are trying the boundaries. They are trying to attack. They are trying to penetrate. And worms, especially when coupled with periodic fevers, once in 2-3 days kind of fever, it is Atista indica. And desires lemon. If you have all these things, 3 things: worms, fever once in 2-3 days, desires lemon, because then you can prescribe Atista indica. Eyes are inflamed, must shut eyes. Cannot keep them open. They are so inflamed. Suppress sexual urge so much that they have no urge and no desire. You see another remedy here in the same group, where too much strong desire, even with that worn out feeling. Remember, everywhere the vital force is blocked. The feminine is blocked. And therefore you have the whole trouble coming, because the feminine is now getting completely blocked. The male is trying and not able to sustain. So Atista belongs to malaria myasm. We saw, na? Once in 2-3 days. What is malaria myasm? That every time you think your fever's gone, it comes back. You're always looking over your shoulder. Yes? So malaria myasm attack anytime, and the fevers are there, and the worms are there, and the craving for lemon. So that is Atista. So Atista is useful for worms, fever, once in 2-3 days, no sexual urge, eyes are inflamed, lot of GI symptoms, because it's an Indian remedy, craving for lemon, and the bloody discharge. Okay, so that is Atista. Now we go to citrus. Citrus lemon. So it is a lemon family Rutaceae, and it's a small, thorny, small tree, yes, yielding abundance of fruits. A lemon tree is always laden. There were so many songs. Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. That is the song we learned when we were children, right? So these lemons are laden all the year. And it says that probably it originated in Burma, then via India, sorry about spelling, to Mediterranean it went. And therefore we say it's Mediterranean. For the vitamin C, we all know it is very good taste, citric acid, which, yeah. So of course we all know this, that you must have lemon when you have flu, or you have bronchitis, or you have bad digestion, or you have throat. Then we know dysentery, that is a carry forward from Atista, nausea, vertigo. And it is reminiscent, not reminiscent of Nux vomica in the beginning. But in the end, when it gets exhausted, more like phosphoric acid. In initial stages, very sensitive, easily excited or frightened. Industrious, all of them are very industrial, beautiful, even a pleaser. We'll have to remember only the points which are different. There'll be so much commonality. But really, we can find them wonderful remedies. What is important for him? To be a good boy, not to get into conflict. Good boy. Lemon is very soft, wants to be a good boy and needs appreciation. Later on, though he is still responsible, diligent, they become very critical. If anyone at work fails, he will be very censorious, very critical, superstitious, won't accept any funny business in behavior. They have this I won't compromise kind of attitude. What is it? Won't compromise. And it is not that he is like that only from the others, as much as that he is demanding of himself. So he's a long distance runner like Brian, right? And also we know because it's a cancer mouse. Cancer mice are very long runners. But later on, as in all Sapindales, lot of restlessness, motion of the legs, spasm, joints. And the opposite is stiff limbs with danger for thrombosis, okay? So the vital energy, the feminine aspect is blocked. That is the whole problem. The masculine comes up, but the masculine without the feminine can't sustain. And that is why they begin like that and then drop off. Because you do too much. So unless you find a balance, you can always get exhausted. He said he works and works, boss, whatever he gives till 10 o'clock, he's there. So when you go home at 10, 11, wife said, we're supposed to have gone out. He said, oh, I'm sorry, I had work, I forgot. And so that home is also not a good atmosphere. Always complaining wife, always children are complaining. So you're not happy. And then finally you get exhausted and you have given everything only on work and the fact when you are at home, there's no support. So everywhere we have to learn to balance. Anybody says, I'm a big workaholic, I work 18, 20 hours a day, not good, not good. If they come to us, we have to advise how it's not good. You know, we have all these patients, no? So today's IT people are always working. They never come home at all. So they go at 9 in the morning, they are there till 10, 11, whatever time. So I said, how will you all have marriage, children? What will happen? So I thought, why can't they divide that work into two parts?
Very successful.
Say that again. Somebody said something? No. Okay. So divide that job into two parts. I mean, what is the need to make so much money? Even the half or 60% if you get, very good because you'll have rest of the time with the family and happiness. I tried talking to a few younger people and talking to a few MDs who are patients and all. And, you know, there was a very nice movie. They had done that where they had divided the work into half. And everybody was so productive in that half. They put in 60% or more, you know, in that half. Because you're going to go home and come back so nice and fresh. So finally, you paying the same amount, you get 120 or 30% of output. Why they don't understand that when you're tired, you can't. Yeah, but it's happening. See this home, working from home. Yeah, finally the nature only gave us all this, right? Who gave us COVID? Who gave us this whole idea of being able to do all our CMEs on Zoom and more people can attend? We earlier had to restrict to whatever was our hall capacity, which was only 20 or so. So that's so nice. Plus restricted to only Bombay. So now we have people from all over coming in. It's really nice. I think it's opened up a lot. So As usual, I thank COVID every day. Anyway, coming back to citrus. So we have the feminine energy, which is blocked. And in later stage, the fall is immense from the person who centers his life all on work, becomes so apathetic and indifference, and this apathy goes on to, you cannot believe, no desire to work, nor the will to work. From one who said, whatever my boss says, I will do. Whatever happens at home, I will work. I'll take responsibility. I'll be on top of the world. And what happens now? No desire. So why should we allow ourselves to reach that stage? Yes? So unless citrus comes to him, those people in the youth and young, they want to do very fast. All people today want to reach up very fast. No taking it slowly. In the old days, you had at this level, you did this, at 40, you did this, 50, you took much more responsibility. By 60, you retire. No, they don't want. Everything they want to make all their money by the time they are 30. I want to make my first million when I'm 30. What will you do with that million? Yeah, if you can't be able to work after that. Then you say, no, invest your money so that you can retire. But why can't you do everything together? No? By that time, your health won't be good and your family is all screwed up. So yeah, anyway, so you reach that stage of no desire to work, nor the will to work, no wish to take responsibility, not get out of bed only in the morning. All these are Mangial ovaries editions. Yeah, they are there in the repertory. His repertory. Refuses to do any domestic work. Women who were very, very conscious and very giving suddenly become averse to domestic work. Good boy then gets squeezed and becomes critical and censorious. They have very strong sexual urge. We saw an Atistica, no sexual urge, right? So very strong sexual urge, strong chronic heartburn, and pains are burning and pinching. So mouth complaints are a lot in citrus B. While citrus we have toothache. We will see that. Here we see a painful cancer of the tongue, because the tongue is very sharp, no? Very sharp tongue. Critical, censorious, won't tolerate. I don't tolerate anything. That is my attitude, yeah? Women very attentive, certainly refuse to do domestic. The immune system then weakens, repeated colds. We know that, right? Citrus is the remedy for it. Flu, throat inflammations all require vitamins. In extreme cases, even breathing, edema, herpes, all signs of stress. So that was citrus. What is important?
Previous slide. Sorry. Thank you.
This one. So
Next one.
So
Yeah, thanks.
immune system weakens. What is important is repeated colds, flu, throat, inflammation, all which we would think require vitamin C. We say drink more lemon juice and all that. And you have breathing, edema, and herpes, all signs of stress. So in the first one, we saw more fever, once in 2-3 days, malaria myasm, more cancer myasm, and we saw worms there, and we saw craving for them. Here we have not mentioned craving for them. Okay, so here is repeated flus. But the mental state is more or less similar. When they work, and then they get exhausted. Jaborandi. We all know Jaborandi for what? For hair fall. Therefore, it is syphilitic myasm. Hair completely gone, totalis, Jaborandi very useful. But it has many, many more uses. So you have profuse discharges like saliva, like sweating, even profuse sensorium, profuse anger, very aggressive. So syphilitic miasm. First one was malaria, second was cancer miasm, the citrus, and the third jaborandi is syphilis. So it is called jaborandi pilocarpus. Family is Rutaceae, and the aromatherapy oil is extracted from this. So again, they start as very diligent, very responsible. But jaborandi is more critical from little earlier. So they are more critical. Censorious, the rubric is censorious, dearest friend with. Angry, demanding, even more so of himself. And his dream is so characteristic, flying, unable to as he would like. This is also their same dream in the next remedy tedium. So very hardworking till sweat, face, forehead, chest. From every part of the body, sweat with palpitation. Copious sweating with chilliness. So those are all outlets, right? Outlets. What is the rubric? Flying unable to as he would like. Means he's not able to fly as high as he would. And also the rubric is censorious with his dearest friend. Means they're telling you, you yourself also your dearest friend. He's censorious with himself and everything. So you have night sweats, you have hot flashes, you have perspiration in menopause, you have so you have the eye pains also a lot. So eye pains are there, we know Ruta very well. So all the Rutaceae, we have jaborandi, Ruta, and we have the Leguminaceae family, Physostigma, and we have Pomocalia, which we did in the anacardium. So all, not only Ruta is for eye pains, all these are. So you have eye strain, eye pain from fine work, needlework, tire from the slightest use, vitreous opacities, glaucoma, atrophic choroiditis, smarting pain in eyes, lacrimation during coryza. So lacrimation in coryza, you can think of jaborandi, you always think of pulsatilla first, right? But when you also have the eye pain, then it would be more indicated. Headaches, see, we are doing much more or not even focusing on the hair fall. Headaches, nearsightedness, eyes convergent after surgery for eye, and more perspiration, more salivation and hair. Menses starts with coldness, headache, pelvic symptoms, backache. So menses, when you have beginning, these are important to remember. If it begins, it's characteristic. Normally you only say back a bit. But if you begin with coldness, headache, pelvic pain, backache, then you must think of jaborandi. Menses are scanty, the head is congested, skin is dry, and in pregnancy you have a lot of edema and pupil convulsions. Threatened suffocation around inability to swallow. Too much, not too much. There's too much perspiration, too much, there's too much. They cannot even swallow the excessive quantity of saliva. And so they will suffer. Then you have the opposite also, heat and dryness of vagina during labor. When it's required, it is not there. When not required, it is there. And the labor season. Dreams, fly unable to as he would like, goes beyond citrus, lemon. We saw how censorious it was. This is even more, anthelias even. So goes beyond citrus, lemon and censorious. You see, as if I'm going to kill my family with acts. Because why? Finds hard to concentrate, which enrages her. gets angry and then wants to kill everyone, including the whole family. Why? Because again, overworking causes fuzziness in the head. Persistent thoughts, fixed ideas, finds it hard to concentrate, confusion and disinclination to speak. So confused because you've gone and gone and gone, and then you overwork and then get fuzzy. So balance is the only thing. Anger with red face, explode. So there you can see the difference between the others. Others were censorious, critical, all that, even with their best friend, but then finally was really down. Here they explode as if that is the only way to bring out emotion. End up sleepless, end up anxious with pressure in the chest. Rubrics, sensorial, perspiration, salivation, reflux. Okay, so the fourth remedy of the Rutaceae, and then we will do other families. Huh? So the common names are hop, hop, hop tree, hop, hop, thinking ash and skunk bush. I don't see how they're connected. Hop is such a nice thing. So it's a flowering plant found in Canada, Mexico, and USA. It's a deciduous shrub. So tree with alternate trifoliate leaves. It is grown for beauty of the winged fruit. Yeah, beautiful. No? But they are used mainly in the hedges. And in herbal treatment, it is used mainly for heartburn and anti-helminth. The mental symptoms are very much like citrus. They're addicted to work, strong sense of duty, overworks himself, responsible, overtasks himself. Look at the thing, look at the thing. He's already tired, but his YouTube, laptop, computer, everything. So a simple working man, shy and strict, can't tolerate noise. That is one of the types. Or persons even with loud voices. You know, some people really have loud voices. So these people, Celia, cannot tolerate so much noise. Collapses when overstrained. See, Natswamika is zealous and ambitious. But when it's very hardworking, think of Telia. So Natswamika is ambitious, but he's not so hardworking. He knows how to get his work done. Domestic work, very important. No support from husband. And then feels that collapse. Husband is a target, but you can't say anything. Husband is happily sitting. She's going up and down for finishing the vessel, cooking, clothes, folding. Finally, she comes sit next to him to fold clothes. But he is not bothered, right? She has taken all responsibility. So takes all the weight and responsibility. More work causes friction. Internally very hurried, which leads to headaches and vertigo. Okay, we'll see also that it can't write well. You can't relax even while writing. It is very hurried and angry over trifles. Wants to complete the target, but dreams are also unable to fly as one. Same as the previous remedy, Java. They are also, that means that they want to reach where they want to reach, but they can't fly that much because the energy doesn't support. Why does the energy not support? Because they are worked and too much. So at each level you saw the criticism increasing. Okay, and here a lot of symptoms: congestive headache, confusion with forgetfulness, brain fag, problem with memory, great depression, not want to talk to anyone, where began with vivacious, more and more people want to talk, wants to work, wants to reach the top. And finally, depression and sadness. So the rubrics are exhausted, indifferent, neglected their duty, dreams flying not as they should, sadness, not talk to anyone. Surprisingly, one's funny rubric can only fall asleep while sitting. Why? Because sitting, at least you think you're going to work, okay? Whereas if you lie down, then you know I'm not going to work. So you can't fool yourself. Here you can fool yourself. I'm sitting, I will work, but you can fall, you fall asleep. And I don't care anymore. She gave a very nice slide earlier, no? Don't care. Given up. She feels deceived because she did too much beyond limit. And at the end also, they stay pleasant and understanding, but they can't go on. They can't go on. Sorry for all the spellings. So then they have delusion poisoned he has been. Affinity, all the remedies have digestive symptoms. Rumbling, better by drinking lemon. All have connection with lemon because it's their own. Cholecystitis, polylithiasis, colitis, hepatitis B, C, E, A. Wow. An intolerance of rich fatty food. So we can think of patients, na? Hepatitis is not easy to cure, right? So if we can get a remedy like that, which will help us, it will be good. Headache from hunger, excessive salivation, we saw that in previous remedy also. Tongue is coated, brownish, yellow. Alcohol consumption is increased. It's like villages, there are no ration shops, but wine shop and beer shop is there. Today we read a funny story, na? I don't know if you all read it. So there is this crane, the bird crane. Apparently, this farmer found that crane very injured and somewhere in the wood. So he took it home, put what? Mustard oil and such things he did, and he healed it. And then the bird stayed with the family, and the bird thought he was family. So he he ate only Maggie. So funny. So he ate only Maggie and he had to be hand fed, okay? The whole family was, and when this fellow went on his bike, that bird would fly next to it and go. And everywhere he behaved like a human. And so much human instinct, he didn't learn how to fly high or attack or learn to defend himself, nothing. So apparently, one of our ministers, I think it was our minister only, either Shinde or one, or anyway. So they went there, they had gone there, they met him and they saw the bird. Bird become very famous in the whole area. People used to come and look at the bird and the crane. So then he saw that and he went back. And then that bird was taken away. Crane was taken away from there. And they tried putting it in a zoo. But they kept it, open zoo. So he escaped, I believe. And then somebody caught him where a whole pack of dogs had surrounded. But he had no way to fight them, or even the urge to fight. We should have given him Delia. No urge to fight. He, that fellow saved him and brought him back. So they realized they have to retrain him. So now they put him in Kanpur Zoo with a small enclosure only for himself. And they don't give him Maggie or anything. So now slowly he's learning how to pick up worms, how to first of all eat by his own beak. He was all the time fed. So how even a bird you can make human? It is really strange. I found the whole story Very interesting, very nice. So they're just working and he's monitored, and no humans are allowed to be in touch because he's so happy with humans. He's so friendly, very comfortable with humans. So no humans are allowed. They're just getting him to become a bird again. Yeah. So that is the story of the bird. And consumption of, and I brought it up from the village because you have no food, but you have beer and wine. And yeah, Western culture. Even alcohol. Sometimes we need to take stock. Na? I believe Prasani was telling me today about a patient who they did a lot and saved him completely, from the cancer. And then he thought he's free of everything. And they said not to take alcohol. So he started taking to his usual level. He thought he's kicked the disease. So he's okay. But then after that, he went. Then after that, nobody could help him. So we have to know our limits everywhere. And when somebody has told us, stop this, it doesn't mean that you think you're well and you will not collapse. So what have we done about TB? I told you too many stories, so we should go back a bit. So Telia hedges, mental symptom like anxiety, addicted to work, overworks himself, responsible overtask, simple man can't tolerate noise or loud voices. Hardworking, domestic work very important, even when no support from husband. And then finally doesn't want to do all the work and gets dreams of unable to fly. And then doesn't want to do work, general lot of depression. Began with vivaciousness. But then no memory, brain fag, and rubrics you can get. India you can get in the rubrics. That is the so best. That is the blessing. Exhausted, indifferent, neglected duty, dreams flying, sadness. Can only fall asleep while sitting because they want to fool themselves that they are working. And then finally say, I don't care. I have done whatever I could. But they don't fight at the end. They stay pleasant and understanding, but say, I can't do. And feel delusion, poison, lot of liver things, hepatitis B, CME, cannot tolerate fatty food or alcohol, better drinking lemon. Headaches from hunger, too much saliva, abdomen pain lying on the left side, better lying on the right side, opposite of magnesium or light bryonia. It is light bryonia and opposite of magnesium. But there you have irritable constipation pain, better lying on the left. Stitching pain like bryonia again, constipation like magnesium again, very business oriented. So you can also differentiate from chelidonium, which is a very important liver remedy. But you have so much painless food there. And craving for boiling drinks. That is what is there in chelidonium. Okay. Scapula, inner angle tip of the inner angle pain. Lycopodium has gas, which is better by passing later. Max Fondica, we know all these things. Constipation, liver, very, very ambitious. These people are hardworking and then give up. Very introverted, doesn't like loud noises. Nausea, vomiting from acidic food. Lemon, even. Okay. So that was Celia. Trifoliate. So there are 4 remedies we did of the Rutaceae family. Okay. So we have some more of the Rutaceae left. Ruta being the most important. Ruta was too big to take today, so I have kept it aside. Yes. So we'll go to some other family and take two different remedies. Ailanthus glandulosa. There is still a lot of commonalities, because why? Because it's fifth subclass. It is the same Sapindales. It is the same inner age, which is early childhood and school age. So we will find even this, being a different family, you still find a lot of common. Ailanthus glandulosa. Okay. So what do we know about it? The name, the tree, not tree, the tree that overtops other trees. So that hints of competitiveness. When I want to grow bigger than anybody else, competitive. It is so invasive and it originated from China. Today, it is considered an ecological threat. It has tremendous ability to grow quickly. It grows, then whoever's around it, it pushes them away from their natural habitat. And it is the only one who's standing. All the others are pushed away. How much it can grow and grow and grow. Ailanthus glandulosa, invasive. It reaches tremendous heights, able to withstand everything because nothing can kill it. It's able to withstand insects, pests, pollution, except sensitive to cold. Only sensitive, not killed by. Cannot be got rid of. You remember we had done one other remedy, which in the swamp they use it because they can grow and grow and right. So hard to get rid of. As continuous growing shoots, even if cut down or burned, down the soil, they are still there. They continue. So it's very difficult to get rid of. It is only when injecting a specific poison into the root that can be killed. So it is nickname is Ghertu palm, stink tree or tree of hell. Flower also is highly allergenic. Nobody should want it. Nobody wants it, but it is there. Ailanthus glandulosa. In China, they found good use for it. The tree is used as a host plant to feed silkworms of the moth. So the moth was called Samia cynthia, which produces silk. Silk which is stronger, cheaper than our mulberry silk. Okay. Have you seen China silk? It really doesn't crush like our silk. We have to be careful. Na? We can't sleep anyway, it crushes. Nowadays, we also get little Indian silk will also become little. But it is China silk doesn't crush. You can sleep any way you want. So it is stronger and much cheaper than mulberry silk, although tough. Okay. Texture is tough. Gloss, this is not glass. Inferior gloss and texture. In Chinese medicine, it is used for treating mental illness, dysentery, interstitial hemorrhage, bleeding, cardiac palpitation, asthma and epilepsy. Yes. So they always, I don't know how many of you, China, you in any tour you take, you have to go to a Chinese medicine place. Then they diagnose you. They dump you with so many medicines, costing lots of money. And I remember somehow 3 of us had gone, me, my husband and daughter. All 3 of us got these $600 worth of medicine, most of which we had to throw. Syphilitic, obviously, is syphilitic, extreme medicine with congestive inflammation, affecting the brain and the spinal cord. Boric says main characteristic is rigidity, which we all know belongs to the fifth subclass, the stupor and the malignancy. So syphilitic, malignancy, growth, throws away everybody else, very rigid. In low fever diseases, when the face is very red and very hot and congested with a red swollen throat, like belladonna. But this is syphilitic, belladonna is sore. Febrile diseases involving the brain, that is meningitis, cerebral intoxication, and epilepsy. So syphilitic, so directly goes to the brain. We have to remember zincum, right? Throbbing, pulsating headaches, occipital or front. So either behind or front. Beating, like a beating in occipital arteries. Electric thrill, see the thrill? From brain to extremity with confusion, low, says pharyngeal. Eye congestion and photophobia, can't bear PAR light. Skin is similar to rustox, itching, red, congested. Skin appears livid or purplish and sensitive to suppression. Throat inflammation, again like belladonna, red or like rustox. Ear inflammation, uvula not elongated, otherwise you could have thought of hyoscyamus. Somebody suggested in the chest chat. Turning red after scratching. Tendency for recurring streptococcal inflammation of the throat with bad odor from the mouth. Enlarged lymph nodes. So everything is big, big. Too much redness, too much pain, too much growth, too much lymph gland, excoriating nasal discharge, too much acidic. Mucous membranes bleed and ulcerate. Okay. So you can have gangrene of the throat, respiratory difficulties, and febrile hallucination. Sees rats and snakes. Rats and snakes. Again, things which compound. Rats compound, na? So it is like the truth. So in diphtheria, rubella, and tonsil. So all the throat complaints, the difficult throat complaint like this. If he is becoming insane, shrieks in sleep. Alternately, they might become semi-comatose with thirst for cold water and lot of anxiety. The mind becomes weak also, sensitive and irritable. Persons carrying much grief and much sighing. Dullness. Guess all his math sums wrong. Can't concentrate. Can't calculate. Needs to read everything twice. Memory is gone. You can see in everyone similar things, but you'll have to differentiate. Nalianthus, big, big, big. Growth, glands. Coupled with toe restlessness. Semi-conscious. Cannot comprehend what is said to him. Summary, the remedy features an extreme state of the split, masculine, feminine, which obviously cannot sustain a clear consciousness. Ailanthus glandulosa. Last remedy of today, Aesculus. Last sixth remedy. Aesculus hippocastanum. So it is also from Sapindales, other families. Horse chestnut. It is called horse chestnut. Please, we have a nice case of this. So it belongs to the family Hippocastanaceae. So the information we have, again a very tall tree with a large canopy, but not like Ailanthus where you grow to pushes everybody out. No. The thorn fruits look similar to edible chestnuts, but they are not edible, they're inedible. As they contain large quantity of saponins. The roots are used as a diuretic treatment for sediment calcify deposits in the urine. So here you have urine. So we saw each had a different location. So that is important. Aeschylus is well known for its affinity to structural weakness of blood vessels, painful hemorrhoids, typical stitching, sharp burning pain, like all our other remedies which were for hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids with diarrhea, this is peculiar. Constipation, varicose veins everywhere. Even the eyes have venous taps. The skin cracks, itches, and ulcerates. So skin is supposed to be flexible. Skin, you can do anything with it. So that which is flexible is rigid, stiff, or stuck. Thus, it is harder for them to drink than to eat. We have rubrics, no? Better by eating solid, aggravating eating liquids, something like that. It is harder to drink than to eat. Mucous membranes of the throat also viscid, thick, and stuck. Throat inflammation, the stitching pain, hot lump sensation, itching, stitching, and a feeling that something is stuck in the throat with a need to swallow it. So this, people come to you all the time saying, something stuck here, I can't swallow it. Something stuck here, I want to swallow it, it won't go down. So think of it, see if the other things fit. Acute pharynx inflammation with constant disposition to swallow. Burning in the stomach, better when eating. It can happen also in cancer. It has marked action on the veins of the lower bowels and pelvic organs, causing engorgement, producing soreness and fullness of the liver and abdomen. Causes general venous status, making parts, not hearts, part purple and fluffy, varicose veins become purple. Similar to the weakness, the non-flowing of the blood vessel, weakness of the will and the brain. Discipline of cells, there is lack of, that is a root. So it may be caused by a sort of suppression by a domineering figure, like a dominating father, who has taken away the will. Again, common to all the fifth subclass. The willpower needed for taking on responsibility was not developed. So you have the back pain. Responsibility and back are very connected. Frightful dreams wake them up. Fear at night, aggravated on or after wake. Mind develops fogginess like the previous remedy, blurriness and dullness. Difficult to concentrate, especially in the morning, does not know where he is. So mind gets weaker, lacking the feminine aspect to support it. How important the feminine is. We think only masculine is important. But what is happening today? In this subclass we took up, why we took up this subclass? Because today everybody wants to be just career and successful and money and so on, but they're losing the softness and the femininity. And the children are losing their, whole parent bonding and the security which they get. I just wrote in my editorial, which is on pediatric issue, that unless we wake up, that we have to balance our lives and have both the mother and the father. And I wrote that we took a decision, right, to marry, to have child, and after that we are responsible. So we have to support them. Otherwise, the children are so you're left. They're just left. Most of them think it is their fault, and otherwise something or the other you feel insecure and never grow right. There was one kid whose mother said, I love you at night and all that, and disappeared. In the morning, when he was having his favorite cornflake, the grandfather tells him, your mother has gone. He dropped the cornflakes. After that, whole life he couldn't eat those cornflakes again. Till he met much later, 20, 30 years later, he met a woman who was safe and honest and loyal. And he again developed some security and faith. So whole life can go like this. So we have to have responsibility. You can't be looking just at yourself and yourself. And you read my editorial, let me know how you find it. The issue has been mailed today. The mind develops a type of fogginess, blurriness, and dullness. Finding it difficult to concentrate, especially in the morning. He does not know where he is. The mind gets weaker because the feminine aspect is not there. We have to have our balance. Low ability to learn with learning difficulties. Brain becomes dull, uses mental effort. Keeps repeating the same mistake again and again. To study also again and again. He has to study. Same mistake again, which means he's not learning, same mistake again and again. So the learning difficulty, the ability to learn, the brain not being able to make the mental effort, these are some of the factors. Then laziness and depression set in, become indifferent to studies or business or whatever they are doing. So Puruvas have experienced cheerfulness, but patience proved to be quarrelsome and difficult. Moral decline is a possibility in later stages because the willpower becomes very weak in conjunction with the themes of religion and rules, not right, rules of the conduct. Moral conduct makes mistakes with willingness to change. If somebody set them right, or we gave them the right homeopathic remedy or the right homeopath, then we'll have better behavior and patterns. Once you be left alone, tendency to laziness, especially following emotional disappointment. Once you're disappointed, so many things can happen. Then whatever you were earlier depends on the severity of the disappointment. But then you tend to want to give up, right? So you may call it laziness, become lazy, not doing. Lazy. The remedy essence is lazy, stop declining towards sluggishness, and that is constipation. So we told. This rigidity and immobility culminate in the fifth stage. It's the fifth stage. Column 5 is the fifth stage, right? You have the womb, you have the oral, anal, early childhood, and the stage. So the fifth stage of the column 5 and reaching ultimate state in death. So the delusion is death is near. The summary is the remedy presents the stiffness, rigidity, slowness, incomplete healing, constipation related to the fifth column and the fifth one. Reaction is itching, burning sensation, and the ability is to mucous membrane. Affinity is to mucous membrane, skin, hemorrhages, varicose veins, throat inflammation, with sharp stitching, pricking pains. So that is coming to the end of today's talk. Does anybody else want to give summary of the 6 remedies we have done before we do the case or after we do the case? We'll give you some time to think about. Yeah. Rama, maybe you can try. Okay, so this case is rather nice. An 8-year-old girl complains of a boil starting as an itch, then becomes pink, brings horrible itch in the daytime. It's like she said there's a spike in it, spike, like poking, spike. She's ashamed to expose her body at the seaside, lest it be seen. In the salty water, the boil explodes with blood. So when the doctor asked her to draw something, showing what it looked like, she drew a node and some spines and spikes, saying it drops from a tree. Then she added, I have another problem. I have a swollen gland on the right jaw near the ear. And it is weird that that which is supposed to be easy to eat, this is the characteristic here, yeah? It is hard to swallow. For example, I can swallow easily apple, but soup I can't swallow, yeah? So liquids I can't, solids I can. That kind of. You cannot see it, but I feel a lump in my throat. She's afraid of robbers, not robbers, has bad dreams, where everything is calm and suddenly gets alarmed and makes anxious. This fear lingers on at night for a long time. She dreams of talking to horse. Based on dreams, night anxiety, throat, and resemblance to the picture of horse chestnut, suiting the Divya Chabra method, Aeschylus was chosen. Follow. You know the Divya Chabra method, right? Everything is based on the 5 senses. Touch, sensation, smell, taste, and anybody?
Ma'am, you are not audible. You are a little slow. Volume.
Okay. So,
Vision and smell.
yeah. So, that was, and with 2 doses of Aeschylus, the gland also disappeared and so with 30C, 2 doses, boils and the swollen gland disappeared in a month. And there was also emotional improvement seen in mother report. Okay. So that is all for today. Rama, you're ready with your, you want me to help with the slides? Can you go back? Tell us a little bit if you can, whichever remedies you remember.
Now, in this box, there is one question for you. Dr. Divya Chabra is following which method?
She's following the 5 senses method. She calls it leap. Yeah. So from SAT, but 5 senses. You try doing it, okay? It's damn tough. Even if you eat something, to describe all the 5 senses when you're eating also is very tough. And every other thing she wants you to describe with the 5 senses. And from that she takes a leap. It's a very specific, very interesting, very difficult to me method. Okay. Rama, you want to do some try? Anyone else wants to try?
Hi, Dr. Rama Hariran and Dr. Denavahi. Rama Denavahi. Anything else your experience says about anything, please?
No, I'm sorry. Don't have much experience in this family.
Okay.
All right.
So we
But-
just will, any questions? Anyone else wants to share?
One question,
Yeah.
ma'am. See, generally we thought Aeschylus is good for hemorrhoids, which you quoted right now. Only thing is that if it is not matching with the mantles, then can we prescribe on the physical only?
No, no. You should have some mental. Now, if you get the lump in the throat, but there's nothing common between the 5th subclass, what we are talking about, feminine, masculine, some part weakness, and we have to go into it a bit. We maybe didn't explore it, right? Because the 3 things that we said, you know, for example, worms with the fever, 1 or 2 days, and the craving for lemon, we said for this stuff. Then we have to think whether or malaria myasm. That will lead you to that. But at least what are the things that you become cheerful, and then your chart start with cheerful, become irritable and quarrelsome. And then this anxiety, some characteristic, better by lying, or you become lazy, or earlier you were not like that. She'll say, I was never like this. I've become like this now. Something you have to, something you have to have. Supposing it is a womb state, then you cannot give it, right? That's why we have so many. Why are we studying inner ages all the time? Why are we studying columns? So that we'll get. And we saw there is full commonality in all. So if it doesn't belong here, it will belong to the remedy in the previous family, in the same column, right?
Thank you.
Anything else? So we had Atista, which is for lot for digestive. We had citrus, which is lost for flu, and then we had jaborandi, which we know for sure for hair, but it also has lots for other things like the eye and the skirts and more perspiration a day. But we also said it has got funny things, like suffocation because of excessive quantity of saliva. And then opposite, heat and dryness of the vagina. So, and you have the dream. You have in both jaborandi, the dream, and in dream. Then you have the telia, the hop tree, right? All of them are addicted to work, do too much, and then finally cannot tolerate. Do too much. But each one in the last, either somebody cannot tolerate any noise or become completely don't want to talk, or some become saying, okay, I'll manage, but no, I don't want to be moved. Yeah. Elenthus, we saw that it just want to grow and throw everybody else out. And you have glands, and you have lot of dysentery and lot of syphilitic kind. And you have Aeschylus, which is horse chestnut. Case was very nice. Tall tree with large canopy, useful for diuretic and sediment, calcified sediment. So hemorrhoids also exist. And the most important of Aeschylus, which we have used, but I didn't know, is that what is supposed to be flexible is rigid stickle stuff. So I can swallow apple, but I can't swallow stick. And there are spikes. And the girl said spikes, right? So the case was very good if you want to see it again. You had this thing and a spike, and she drew also a spike, has a gland also, and she said something is stuck and I can't swallow soup, but I can swallow apple. And other things were okay. Dreams of robbers, okay. And then the also this horse, she talked to a horse. So that horse plus the chestnut plus the thing, she chose Aeschylus. And we can also choose because there was a throat, there was also swallowing apple couldn't, but apple she could and the soup she couldn't, and plus there were spikes. So we could also follow. By other methods also we can watch. So that is all for today.
Thank you. Thank you. You completed 6 months today, 26 weeks. Wonderful.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that is wonderful, yeah. So we'll have a good time. Next time we have to do a big remedy ruta, which we use so much, but if we know more, we can use even more. We know so much about it for cancer, for eyes, for bones, we learn more. Okay. So thank you everyone. Thank you.
Very much.
Dr. Vishpala,
Yes, Vishnu.
sorry.
Tell me.
Uh,
Tell me, Ashok.
Two things that I need to ask. Are you going to finish today or we will continue?
Are we going to what?
Are we going to continue as 6 months is over as our? No, it's okay.
We are going to continue.
Yeah, thank you very much, really, because it's really fantastic. I don't have much words to say, but it's a really great experience with your efforts, with your work, and especially the knowledge that you are giving us to continue with new remedies is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's
And
second.
also we can use it, it'll be so very nice, no? So
Yeah.
I had already announced that I'm not going to charge any more. I'm going to continue the series, okay? For as long as we need to.
It's not a great matter, you know. If such a great work that you are doing is obvious to charge something, is to make it value, not in sense of that little money that you are going to charge that will make you, it's not economically, it's a duty of all our we students that we must pay something, you know. But I feel it, yeah.
So that you can talk to Munira and say, I want to give this for NJ, and you can deposit it in NJ. Anyone.
But I can talk to Preeti, or I have
you can talk to Preeti or to Munira and tell them you want to deposit it. Preeti will say, okay, whatever you want to deposit.
That's not a problem. She is really very, very accommodative person. Very, हम कहते हैं ना हिंदी में वो कितनी लायक है, कितनी efficient है प्रीति. So I will talk to her. Second thing, in your experience, even to Dr. Chanda or other who can intervene, that in your great experience, what about this female homosexual? Because I have a patient, it's a third patient, but this lady, the newly came, she is a homosexual woman. She came for not a great reason, but she wants to be treated. But in real sense, I have known from later second time that she is homosexual and she is married to a woman also. So what about your experience to a homosexuality in women?
I don't get the question. What is your question? Only I don't get.
Question is that what is your experience about homosexuality in women?
Homeopath deworming.
Not homopath, homosexual.
Homosexuality in women.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is my experience? I
Yeah.
think I think I've seen many homosexual women, and I think they do good. I have in my own family. mm, the thing is, in all this, I feel that you recognize it and then address it, because this is not something people have made for themselves. They are born with it.
Yes, yes, of
So
course.
we have to, number one, I always tell everyone with me that whatever the patient says, we are not God, we are not in judgment. We have
Certainly.
we have to accept whatever they say, and we have to see how we can help them. Okay.
Exactly.
So I remember long ago, I'm talking about 35 years ago, when the first patient, she came to me, and I found, not the first patient, one patient came to me, and she said later on that she was having an affair with a priest. So, my assistant was so shocked. So, and it showed on her face. So later on, I had to give a talk to everyone saying we cannot show anything on our face. Even if we've never heard it before, we have to be at that time blank, because we are not in judgment. She had
Yes.
some reason, right? So that is
Yes.
the thing. Or same thing with homosexual. The first time you come across it, it is very difficult. You've never, your life has not exposed you to that. You may not know about it, but then you have to treat. What I can tell you this much is, like, I was telling you about my own family. So my cousin brother,
Yes.
who had he was living in America, and he had a love marriage with an American girl. And then they live together. They have 2 boys. And then she said, no, I'm sorry, but I am a lesbian. I need to get divorced. So
Oh.
after such a long time, after 10, 15 years of being together, she found. Maybe she also had not acknowledged to herself, but he let her go. So that is the thing. You cannot do anything about it. I had a patient once who her only desire in life was to be able to wear a t-shirt on the beach, which means that is only a boy can do, right? Take out her t-shirt on the beach. And she didn't want to be called even she never wanted to be called a female or a male, I mean girl or anything. She only wanted, and even her family, very surprising, because it was a community which doesn't accept easily, Marwadi community. But her
Yeah.
family also accepted it. And also, she had a good profession, very good profession. So finally, she did her sex change, and she's very happy with it. She looks also beautiful. She means he looks beautiful, handsome.
Yeah.
So we have to accept. But sometimes when I have patients who are very young, 12, 13, that age, and I find that, they are very feminine, then I do give remedies, and I talk to the parents, mother, whether you would like, that this is where he's heading. It may happen, may not happen. But my remedy may include, and if we can, if it's not a very serious matter, serious thing, then it's not that we can always revert back, but we can give something. If it works, fine. Or they're still young. Okay.
Yeah.
So that
What is
I've had 1 or 2 few cases like that. But most
Mhm.
of them, and some of them, I've had patients who have who manage both. They have a married life and they have somebody.
Oh, I see. So what is your experiences thinking about some remedies?
No, I'm saying that I've given those boys who are very female oriented and wore lots of beads, and I've given pulsatilla And
Oh,
one
yeah.
really went back to being a boy.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. That's nice. This Pulsatila gave me more, really a little bit more encouraging because I'm working for 1 week that she came because I need to talk to her again. But this Pulsatila gave me 80% of energy to me, and that Pulsatila will work for her as she's so delicate and she was finding the work to go and help the people suffering as the people are suffering, seems to be very sympathetic, but she's not acting like phosphorus, that she's so sympathetic, but she is feeling the suffering of others and so easily offended, something that emptiness of the mind that Pulsatila was coming out. So today for this my question and responding all these things. Thank you very much, really. I hope that today, this coming Friday, I'll be talking to her more to understand the real situations. Then we will talk again. I'll be very grateful. Thank you very much to all.
Thank you. And this
Dr.
Saturday,
Vishnu.
we have our third monthly meeting where we'll discuss some very nice cases. Huh?
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Vishpala. Great, great.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's really interesting and adorable on your side to make us understand so well and spending much time to prepare an presentation. We are lucky, in short. Thank you so much.
Even I'm lucky because I'm learning and learning and learning.
No.
Thank
It's nice of you. It's your good heart. That's all. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.